Some fight for unbuilt homes.
We've been running around.
In Gurgaon, a group of ex-soldiers fighting for homes already built.
I am Commander Alok Verma, retired from Air Force.
I am A.K. Kapoor, retired from DRDO, Senior Scientist and Director.
I am Brigadier Shehrawat, retired from the Indian Army.
In 2007, they booked flats in this building, Atharva, by Raheja Developers, helmed by Navin Raheja, one of the biggest and fast-rising players in the region. Its website is a snapshot of the Raheja real estate empire. When the flats were handed over in 2014, 3 years after the initial deadline, homeowners were shocked. They said crucial clearances were still not in place.
Even today, the fire clearance is not given by the fire department because we protested. So today the project is
Does not
without,
have fire?
no, it does not have as on date. Secondly, the environment clearance. He obtained occupancy certificate without environment clearance.
As a warnings of the risks that lie ahead, they shared a video of a fire that broke out in one of the towers last year.
I believe there was a fire in one of the flats where cooler caught fire. It was a plastic cooler, and the flat in one particular room was on fire. But that time there was no fire services available in that.
There was no fire safety equipment or anything like that?
No fire safety equipment.
Could the fire tenders access?
No, they could not. They were not even called because this project was lacking.
Now, if there is a fire on this side of the building, there is no fire brigade which is able to come to this area.
This is not an isolated case. We came across Raheja home buyers across different projects who claim that they faced exactly similar problems. We spoke to a member of the Homeowners Association of Vedanta, another Raheja building.
The issues are more or less same, and we got same issues what Atharva has got, and the building was given occupancy certificate without having environment clearance, no false fire alarm certificate, and no road, no infrastructure, and also there was nothing there, and incomplete site. When I visited the site, there was nothing there.
Just show me the gate.
To rebut these arguments, a visit to our office by Navin Raheja and a team armed with documents.
They are misrepresenting.
Okay.
Environment clearance bylaws were changed,
When?
and they have environment clearance now. Environment clearance is as per notification of ministry.
Yes.
It is 7 years valid. We got it in 2009. It will get due for renewal in 2016 April. Before that we cannot even apply, because when we applied for other projects,
When did this law change? When did it become
I don't know the date, but when we wrote to the ministry for applying for renewal of an environment clearance for all other projects also,
Right.
they mentioned that the validity is 7 years.
But these documents show that the law only changed in April 2015. Atharva's environment control would have expired much before that and would be eligible for the changed law. So as of date,
As of date, it is,
as a fire, you have your fire
it is a fire clearance is there. Renewal has been applied. It is a process. Renewal will not happen overnight.
Right.
It will happen through a due process.
There are a lot of discrepancies.
Yeah.
Discrepancies have been stated. Even the fire officer has mentioned in the RTI that there are discrepancies, and he has been given 2 notices.
Yeah.
Once he was given a notice for 1 month to rectify all deficiencies.
Yeah.
He did not meet that target date.
Yeah.
Thereafter, he was given another notice in November 15
Yeah.
to meet the requirements in 15 days. He did not comply with that, and that is the reason that NOC has not been renewed.
Even if these clearances are obtained, deeper challenges remain. In Atharva, a new building came up in the same compound which they say ate into their green space.
But it was supposed to be with 440 flats only, but a lot of green area, 30% green area and all.
Okay.
Later on we came to know, okay, there's also constructing Sheilas out here, and he's increased the project size from 450 to about 700.
Where this Sheilas is supposed to be your green area.
It's supposed to be green area, 30% green area.
No, there are well-defined laws of Ministry of Environment and Forest. Mandatorily you check the website. It mentions that the green space should be between 15% to 25% in any project.
And in
So,
Atharva, what green space?
In Atharva, current green space is about 22%. and which will actually, we will give it more than even the bylaws.
We will go to that later.
But the home buyers say the additional green areas are hastily and poorly laid, like this lawn on top of a tennis court.
This is the grass which was placed overnight, and below this we have got environment is going on.
And this green patch, which turns out to be plastic grass.
This is all just artificial strips. Okay.
And he has claimed it as green area.
And we,
Mr. Raheja, however, makes an accusation of his own.
now these customers are telling us, if I paid you 50 lakhs,
Right.
I completed my building in time. Now they are not willing to take possession because the maintenance charge will be levied.
Okay.
And maintenance charge, they don't want to pay maintenance charge.
This allegation exposes another major bone of contention between homeowners and builders. Those are the charges that are levied on homeowners at the last lap. If you don't take occupancy of your house at the time that it gets its certificate, there are holding charges. Then there's the escalation charges for any rise in the cost of materials or of construction costs. And finally, the most contentious of all, there's the super built-up area charges. That's for any construction that wasn't a part of the original plan.
Super areas, initially when you launch the project, this is not like manufacturing a car, which has a frozen design.
Yes.
It is not like a TV, that it has a frozen design, or a computer, which has a frozen design. Now when you launch a
When
project,
you launch a project,
when
you
you
know
launch a
exactly
project,
everything you're building. It's a full sanctioned
no,
plan.
the services and codes of these, whether it is fire, whether it is, lifts sizes, whether it is generator rooms,
Yes.
they are sanctioned by different agencies.
These letters sent by Raheja, though, suggest that the extra charges aren't that marginal.
That has escalated now by about 24 lakhs.
24 lakhs.
That's right. One is the cost of construction has increased, and he is charging 365 rupees per square foot as cost of construction.
Yes.
Secondly, he has increased the sub area.
Yeah.
Instead of 2251 for which I was booked, now he is saying that it has increased to 2381.
Charges which homeowners claim are uncalled for.
He is not shown where is this super area that is covered.
We have got square feet per house, and there are 700 houses. You multiply that, it comes out to be almost 50,000 square feet of area. Where is that 50,000 square feet of area? It is only increased on paper.
These claims of escalated costs allow builders to write off whatever compensation they are legally obliged to pay owners. Those compensation amounts are anyway a pittance to begin with.
Mr. Menon, a lot of the conflict seems to be over this buyer's agreement, which seems to be tilted in favor of the builders and the homeowners not getting anything in return. What explains that?
Because there were no set templates which were available. So when the urbanization process by the private sector started towards the mid-80s, so the developers themselves created the agreements.
As we were wrapping up the Atharva shoot, we come across a less reported side of the unkept promises. Next to the gleaming high-rise, homes for economically weaker sections, mandatory for every builder, but in terrible condition. For some reason, our filming this seems to have irked the security at Raheja's.
नहीं आपको क्या ऑब्जेक्शन है समझ
मुझे कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है।
आपको जो ऑब्जेक्शन है ही है आपने तो तभी तो हमारे को उस पे पॉइंट
मैं ये कह रहा हूं
हम तो
कि
ये भी दिखा रहे हैं हमने तो ये भी दिखा रहे हैं लोग भी तो इम्पोर्टेंट हैं
गरीब लोग पे तो देश राज कर रहा है। गरीब लोग की बात कर करके
Lawyers say there are more than 10,000 cases against builders in the consumer courts. Not just the ones we reported on, but many more, from DLF to JP to EMAR, MGF, more on the way. The new housing regulatory bill is meant to bring hope. It will have regulators in the center and states, a separate escrow account only for the project, and tougher penalties. But it will only apply, it appears, to future projects.
See, the one word is accountability. That sense of accountability or the fear of the system would be brought in. But when you really look at what the larger bill will deliver, would only be applicable on a lot of new projects which will come up. What is already launched and where a few people are stuck. I mean, you can always see a newspaper advertisements where somebody says, I have 25 projects on the floor. do they have the management ability and the technical expertise and the financial ability to pull off 25 projects?
Which means those left stranded have a long battle ahead.
34 years I put in the Indian Army, and I have served always, most of the time in the field areas, in the altitude areas, in the jungles, in the deserts.
And now you're faced with...
And now I had never expected that after retirement, this will be the treatment meted out to me.